Have you ever watched a Studio Ghibli film and thought, wow, I wish this place was real? Well, here's the exciting news. Many of those magical forests, ancient bathhouses, and peaceful villages you see in your favorite Ghibli movies actually exist in Japan. Imagine walking through the exact forest that inspired Princess Mononoke, or bathing in the same hot spring that became the bathhouse in Spirited Away. Sounds amazing, right? But wait, there's more to discover. Today, we're not just talking about beautiful locations. We're going to learn practical English vocabulary and phrases about nature, conservation, and travel that you can use in everyday conversations. You'll learn how to describe landscapes, talk about protecting the environment, and express emotions about special places. So what's today's story about? We're exploring the real Japanese landscapes that inspired Studio Ghibli's most beloved films. From sacred forests to historic bathhouses, these places are just as magical as the movies themselves. And the best part? People are working hard to protect them for future generations. Welcome to Lady Show English. Let's discover where movie magic meets reality. Before we dive into the full story, let me give you a quick preview of the useful English we'll learn today. Trust me, these will make your English sound more natural and expressive. First, we'll learn the word inspired, a beautiful verb that describes how something gives you creative ideas. You'll also discover primeval, a powerful adjective for describing ancient, untouched nature. We'll explore the phrase draws visitors, which is perfect for talking about tourist attractions. Here's what makes this even better. We'll also learn how to use enveloped in, a phrase that creates vivid descriptions, and mounting threats, which helps you discuss serious problems. Plus, you'll master stretches back, a time expression that native speakers love using when talking about history. Each of these words and phrases comes straight from today's story, and you'll see exactly how they work in real contexts. But that's not all. After the story, we'll break down each one with simple explanations, example sentences you can use tomorrow, and practical situations where they fit perfectly. Ready to see how these words bring the story to life? Let's jump in. Studio Ghibli is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year, and millions of fans around the world are celebrating too. For 4 decades, this Japanese animation studio has created films that feel both fantastical and familiar. From moss-covered forests to steamy bathhouses, from suburban woodlands to magical creatures like Totoro, these movies transport us to worlds where nature and fantasy blur together beautifully. But here's the surprising part, many of these beloved settings weren't created from pure imagination. They were actually inspired by real places across Japan. Some are sacred, some are endangered, but all are deeply cherished by the people who live near them. Today, we're visiting 3 of these magical locations, and you won't believe how similar they are to the films. Let's start with Yakushima, the island that inspired the forests in Princess Mononoke. This is where it gets mystical. Remember those opening scenes where a boar charges through a misty, primeval forest filled with towering trees and ancient spirits? That world is based on Yakushima, a UNESCO-listed island off southern Kyushu that people consider spiritually significant. In Yakushima, 1,000-year-old cedars rise from carpets of moss, and heavy rainfall nourishes a dense, dreamlike forest. Local legends say tree spirits live here. Yumi Takahashi, an office worker from Tokyo who visited recently, describes her experience. Every direction, up, down, front and back, was completely enveloped in green. It felt like being deep underwater, surrounded by forest instead of water. It was mystical. And guess what's interesting? The Studio Ghibli connection still draws visitors from around the world. Taro Watanabe, who leads mountain excursions on the island, explains, even now, many people come to Yakushima because of Princess Mononoke. But in recent years, tourism has actually quietened down. I hope more people will come and experience the island's nature for themselves. But here's the concerning part. Yakushima's forests face mounting threats from overgrazing deer and climate change. Rising temperatures are triggering landslides that damage these ancient woods. Listen to this carefully. Conservationists and local guides are working with UNESCO and government agencies to protect the old-growth cedars and restore damaged areas. They want to ensure these enchanted landscapes survive for future generations. Now, let me take you somewhere completely different. Imagine a red bridge leading to a towering bathhouse, its windows glowing gold against the night. This is the world of Spirited Away, the Oscar-winning film that's forever linked to Dogo Onsen Honkan Hot Springs in Matsuyama. Here's the fascinating part. Dogo Onsen's history stretches back roughly 3,000 years, making it one of the oldest of Japan's nearly 3,000 hot springs. With its winding corridors, creaking floors, and tiled rooftops stacked like a pagoda, this building captivated Hayao Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli's co-founder. While he never confirmed it directly, the word Dogo appears in his storyboards, and the building's features are unmistakably echoed in the film's bathhouse. Kazuya Watanabe, who works at Dogo Onsen, says, "Guests often say, 'This is the bathhouse from Spirited Away, isn't it?' We hear that kind of conversation a lot." And this surprised everyone. After a major restoration project finished in 2024, the bathhouse is once again open to the public and recognized as an important cultural property of Japan. "We want to pass this place on to the next generation," Watanabe says. But wait, there's one more place you need to know about. Of all Studio Ghibli's creations, perhaps none is more iconic than Totoro, that round, friendly forest spirit who lives among camphor trees and rice fields. Here's where it gets emotional. That setting was drawn from the Sayama Hills, a real landscape near Tokyo where Miyazaki lives. The Sayama Hills form a large area of woods, farmland, rice paddies, and wetlands that stretches across Tokyo and Saitama prefectures. Most areas known today as Totoro's Forest are protected by the Totoro no Furusato Foundation, which was established in 1990 with Miyazaki's support. This is important. These hills represent a traditional rural landscape that once framed everyday life across Japan, but suburban development threatens to destroy them. The winding paths here feel like the very lanes where Little May wanders in the film. There's even Kurosuke's house, a 120-year-old farmhouse that resembles the old countryside structure where the family lives in My Neighbor Totoro. Inside, you'll find playful recreations of those tiny soot sprites that scurry through the shadows in the movie. And here's the beautiful part. Since its founding, the Totoro no Furusato Foundation has bought more than 50 parcels of woodland to prevent development. Volunteers can help with clearing undergrowth, pruning trees, and repairing trails. Mia Hanazawa from the foundation says, "Visitors are often surprised to learn not just about the forest, but about the grassroots efforts that sustain it." So, what's the bigger message here? These places show us that movie magic can inspire real-world action. When we fall in love with animated forests and bathhouses, we might also start caring about protecting the real places that inspired them. And that's a truly powerful connection between art and nature. Let's break down those useful English words and phrases from today's story. I promise, by the end of this section, you'll feel confident using them. First up, inspired. This verb means to give someone creative ideas or motivation to do something. In our story, we saw many of these beloved settings were inspired by real places across Japan. The key here is understanding that inspiration creates something new based on what you see, feel, or experience. Here's how you use it in daily life. This documentary inspired me to travel more. Your success story inspired me to start my own business. The sunset inspired me to take up photography. Can you think of something that inspired you recently? Maybe a person, a book, or even a song? That's exactly when you use this word. The situation can be creative projects, personal goals, or even career decisions. Anytime something motivates you to take action or create something, you're inspired. Ready for the next one? Next, let's learn primeval. This adjective describes something extremely ancient and untouched, especially forests or nature. In the story, a boar charges through a misty, primeval forest filled with towering trees. This word carries a sense of mystery and timelessness, its nature in its original, unchanged state. In everyday conversations, you might say, "We hiked through a primeval forest that felt magical. The cave had a primeval atmosphere that made me feel small." There's something powerful about primeval landscapes. Notice how this word creates a strong emotional image? That's its power. You'll typically use primeval when talking about nature, ancient places, or anything that feels untouched by modern civilization. Think about it. Have you ever visited a place that felt ancient and mysterious? That's when this word fits perfectly. Here comes an even better one. Now, draws visitors. This phrase means to attract people to come to a place. From our story, the Studio Ghibli connection still draws visitors from around the world. The verb draw here works like a magnet, it pulls people towards something. Let's look at practical examples. This new cafe draws visitors with its unique desserts. The festival draws visitors from neighboring cities. Her artwork draws visitors to the gallery every weekend. See how natural it sounds? You're not just saying attracts, you're using the exact phrase native speakers prefer. Use this when discussing tourist attractions, popular restaurants, events, or any place that brings people in. Here's a challenge for you. What places in your city draw visitors? Think about museums, parks, or restaurants. That's your practice opportunity right there. You'll like the next one even more. Let's explore enveloped in. This phrase means to be completely surrounded or covered by something. Remember Yumi's description? Every direction was completely enveloped in green. It creates a powerful image of being wrapped up or immersed in something. Here are everyday uses. The city was enveloped in fog this morning. I felt enveloped in warmth when I entered the cozy cafe. The mountains were enveloped in clouds. This phrase works beautifully for describing atmospheres, weather, feelings, or physical surroundings. You can use enveloped in for both physical things, fog, darkness, snow, and emotional states, happiness, sadness, peace. Imagine this, you walk into your grandmother's house and smell fresh cookies baking. You might say, "I felt enveloped in nostalgia." See how it adds depth to your description? Ready for the next useful phrase? Now we have mounting threats. This phrase describes problems or dangers that are increasing or growing more serious. From the story, these fragile habitats face mounting threats from overgrazing deer and climate change. Mounting here means building up or accumulating, like a pile growing taller. In real-life situations, The company faces mounting threats from new competitors. Scientists warn of mounting threats to ocean ecosystems. There are mounting threats to online privacy. This phrase is particularly useful in news discussions, environmental topics, or business contexts. Use it when talking about problems that aren't going away but instead getting worse over time. It could be health issues, financial problems, environmental challenges, or social concerns. Think about this: what mounting threats do you see in your community or field of work? That awareness helps you use the phrase naturally. Here comes an even better one. Finally, let's master stretches back. This phrase describes something's history extending into the past. We saw, Dogo Onsen's history stretches back roughly 3,000 years. It's a beautiful way to talk about how long something has existed, like a timeline extending backward. Practical everyday examples: our friendship stretches back to elementary school. This tradition stretches back over 500 years. My family's business stretches back 3 generations. Native speakers love this phrase because it sounds natural and slightly poetic. Use stretches back when discussing history, traditions, relationships, or anything with a long past. It works for personal histories, friendships, family connections, and broader topics, cultural traditions, company histories, building ages. Here's a question for you: what in your life stretches back the furthest? Maybe a family recipe, a hometown tradition, or a childhood friendship. Practice describing it using this phrase. Wow, we've covered so much today. Let's quickly recap what we learned. We explored 3 real Japanese locations that inspired Studio Ghibli films, and along the way, we mastered 6 powerful English expressions, inspired 4 talking about creative motivation, primeval 4 ancient nature, draws visitors 4 attractions, enveloped in 4 being surrounded, mounting threats 4 growing problems, and stretches back 4 talking about history. These aren't just vocabulary words, they're tools that make your English more expressive, natural, and engaging. You can use them when traveling, discussing environmental issues, describing places, or sharing personal stories. Now, here's my challenge for you. In the comments below, write 1 sentence using your favorite phrase from today. Maybe describe a place that inspired you, or talk about a tradition that stretches back in your family. I read every comment, and I'd love to see how you use these expressions. And if today's lesson helped you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Lady Show English. Next time, we'll explore more amazing stories that help you practice English listening while learning useful vocabulary. See you in the next video, and keep practicing.